Life, Spice Girls. Well, we're the Spice Girls here today at Suffolk Sound, not including Richie as well. Actually, he'd probably like to be included in the Spice Girls act anyway. Well, we're talking to the lovely Sue Cook, and we've been talking about chickens. We've just had a message in asking, can Sue really speak chicken? Of course she can. Of course she can. I think she's got a blog that you might want to follow to find out about her chicken antics.
It's on Instagram, actually.
Instagram.
It's called Portly Spaniel's Secret Diary. And
there we go.
There's all a mixture of nonsense in there.
Say it again so people can follow you.
Portly Spaniel Secret Diary.
There we go. Go off and follow the whole chicken
Instagram.
saga there. That'll give you a laugh. That'll make you smile. Now, we're going to put our serious heads on here now, Sue. Yeah. Now, you do serious stuff too, don't you? Now, you're a homeopath, aren't you?
Yeah.
And we went through her homeopath because I do astrology, and we met through that, didn't we? Many moons ago.
Yeah.
But you do lots of work, don't you? And you do things to do with memory loss as well. Tell us about the memory loss.
Well, I started getting into the brain stuff when my own son was diagnosed with severe dyslexia, and I was told there's no cure, you have to learn to live with it. And I thought, my kid's not happy, I'm going to sort this out. And that turned into my life because I discovered this whole world of neurodevelopment and brain rewiring, sorted him out. And so we were told that by the time he's 12, he might be able to read his name. He was 6 at the time. He got like 12 GCSEs, 5 A-levels, and just got a music degree. So
Dabby dozy.
But along the way, I mean, obviously that's been the last 16 years of my life, but along the way, I think it was about 8 years ago, I was asked to talk to a woman who was 57 and had been diagnosed with early onset dementia, and I didn't really know what to do, so I did everything. So I gave her homeopathy, I gave her neurodevelopment, and I put her on this special nutrition thing. And at the time she couldn't remember what door handles or taps were for, and obviously she couldn't drive, but within 3 months she was driving and she was doing really well. And then scroll forward a few years, and it seems at the moment a lot of people are losing their memory or have poor memory or aphasia or something like that. And I thought, well, how about I do a 15-20 minute exercise class twice a week or something on Zoom, just something simple to reconnect some of those nerve pathways and give the brain a chance to sort itself out. And there are other things too, like the nutrition that I did with this other lady, and homeopathy if people want that too. But there's so much you can do.
There is. It's just fantastic, and you can do this via Zoom, don't you?
Yeah, and it makes me sad that people are struggling when, if I'm around, they don't maybe need to, if we can help them.
It is, and what you do can be complementary, can't it? If they're already following a regime from their doctor or their hospital, you can add to that, can't you? It doesn't have to be a
either or.
Or if they haven't decided to do anything yet, you're a good place to start as well,
Absolutely.
aren't they? You know,
an exercise class, 15 minutes twice a week or whatever, isn't going to hurt anybody, and it's not strenuous. You can do it sitting in a chair. It's just moving correctly, because our brains only know what's going on because our body tells it. So it's nerve inputs from the senses. So if you think about it, we're sitting in a studio here, and I can see you, I can hear you, and if I put my hand out, I could touch you or smell you. Whereas if we put noise cancelling headset on, put something over our eyes and put oven gloves on us and spun us around in a chair, we wouldn't have a clue where we were. We couldn't function, we couldn't make a cup of tea.
No.
And so if the sensory inputs to the brain are working, this is all brainstem stuff, then you can function a lot better. So, and it's pretty simple.
It is, and it's about left-right brain stuff as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're talking there more about the corpus callosum, which is the band of nerve fibres that connects the two hemispheres together, and that can be built up if somebody's is not working properly or not working enough. If you've got a pathway instead of a 4-lane motorway, you can turn that into more of a motorway just by exercise and moving correctly. And then that will enable you, because get this, to add 2 numbers together, say the number 5 and the number 9, you want to add those together, that information has to change hemisphere 9 times for you to process that simple sum, right? So if the connections between the hemispheres aren't working, then your memory isn't going to be working very well. So something simple like that enables you to process whatever it is you're thinking about or trying to do. That just blows me away.
I
Because
think
it's so
it's
interesting,
just
isn't it?
amazing, and it's just like when you look at children and we're going on at them to add up what 5 and 6
Yeah.
is, do this, and and we're getting angry with them and they're getting more
Yeah.
frustrated. When you actually work out what their brain is having to,
Yeah.
all the doors that are having to open and close to
Yeah.
allow those message pathways to go
Yeah.
through,
It's mind-blowing.
it is absolutely mind-blowing, and that's why sometimes having patience and being able to
Yeah.
teach them
Yeah.
different exercises is really
Yeah,
helpful,
when I
isn't it?
first discovered the whole world of neurodevelopment, which I'd never heard of, I was given a screening to give to my son, which I did, and his brain, well, his eyes weren't working, so he had no tracking, which meant he couldn't follow a line of text.
Yeah.
His pupils were too big, which meant he had snow blindness from looking at everything. His eyes weren't yolked, so he had no 3D vision, no depth perception, so he couldn't see where anything was. And there were more issues with his vision, which I cannot recall at the minute. But just take those things,
Yeah.
and that's muscles and nerves which weren't working
Okay.
correctly, which completely sabotaged his classroom experience.
Of course
And
it
that was
would,
so
yeah.
easy to sort out.
Yeah, but the trouble is that the way medical world is at the moment, money resources are very poor,
Yeah.
and they want a quick fix. Also, it's very much like they can't deal with anything unless it's actually broken, and then it can be refixed.
Yeah.
Things like rehabilitation and
Yeah.
physio and things like that. And re-education for our brains and bodies, we're just going to have to do this ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah.
And we can do this. This
Yeah.
is the thing, isn't it? It can be done.
Yeah, this is the whole reason I learnt neurodevelopment
Yeah.
and for my son. But that's the whole reason I got into homeopathy, was because I had glandular fever at 19 and nearly died. I was at art college at the time, because I'm really an artist,
You're very creative.
That's why I make things all
And
the
your
time.
crystal crowns are gorgeous.
Thank you, they
I'm
are
gonna post-
available if anyone wants
I will
one.
post a picture of you three together, Jan, Sue, and Richie. Richie complete in crystal crown. I shall post that later. But they are gorgeous what you do.
Thank you. And the reason I got into the health thing was because I was sick and I was told there's no cure for glandular fever, and I'm like, how can you leave a 19-year-old to die? Which I nearly did, because I nearly choked to death, saw my life flash before me. I know that's serious and stuff, and so I started investigating health, and then became a homeopath because it saved my life.
Fantastic. I'm going to talk a little bit more about your clinics
Yeah.
after this.